Hello, everyone. We are doing team tryouts for high school basketball team, and I'm Eric. I'm Cole. That is what we're going to be discussing today. So the first thing that we had to make was a visual model of coaching with some of the key foundations and building blocks of what we believe is important in the sport of basketball. So the six key steps we have are assertiveness, awareness, communication, competitiveness, passion, and high level effort. And each of these things are important because they make a well-rounded player. Awareness is super important because if you're out on the court and you don't really know what you're doing, you can make a lot of mental errors just by not being aware and knowing what you're doing. Assertiveness is also very important because you need to move decisively and be able to make decisions on the fly. Communication is really important to communicate with your teammates, see where everyone's at, make sure everyone's on the same page. Competitiveness as well. You have to be competitive and want to win. And then you got to have a passion for it to do it every day and do it at a high level. And then effort, you need to play with high level effort to make sure that you're playing at your best. So some of the team rules that we came up with were don't show up late for any meeting, practice, or game, or any activity that the team has. You must have a 2.5 GPA to be eligible to play on the team. And then you must have a clean jersey ready for games and practices. Communication is huge with the coaches and players. So if there's any issues, any injuries, or you can't make a practice, those need to be spoke to about to a coach. Players will be in charge of sweeping the court before practice, and then just communicate with the coaches on any issues you may have. So next we have an outline of the athlete parent meeting. So this meeting will be had at the beginning of the season, just laying out some ground rules, introduce the coach and other assistant coaches, go over the schedule, see if there's any scheduling issues, make sure that everyone's held accountable for all of the events that are going to occur. And then the rules, we're just gonna go over, the rules that I just stated before in front of the athletes and parents and make sure that everyone's on the same page. We are going to discuss having a medical clearance, have athletes be medically evaluated so that they are able to practice and play on the team. And then fundraising, help fundraise for a lot of the gear and travel and stuff that is going to occur during the season. And then in conclusions, if anybody has any question or something didn't sound right to anyone, that's their time to ask questions. And I'm going to swing it on over to Cole now.
So this is our self-analysis checklist, and we decided to do it on defense. So for this overarching category, defensive abilities, we started off with defensive stance, and we categorized that by low stable stance, non-shooting foot to the side and slightly bent or behind, not standing flat-footed with weight off heels, and then knees slightly bent. Then on the on-ball defense, active hands around the ball, knees bent, hand up, ready to change direction either vertically or laterally. And it's important that they make the offensive player frustrated and very uncomfortable. For off-ball defense, the side of the man and the ball is present. Players are positioned perfectly between the ball and their man to help a teammate who gets beat off the dribble. Proper help side defense and positioning is being provided to the team, and then players are between the man and basket at all times. And then next, blocks, steals, and fouls. Players aren't resorting to fouls when they're guarding a player. Athletes are using their athletic ability to block shots, making the offensive player pick up their dribble and become loose with the ball. Offense seems uncomfortable and not in rhythm with the ball due to the pressure from the defender, which can lead to a steal. Athlete poking the ball away and getting possession, completing a steal, and then communicating a missed shot to rebounders after a block so you can get the defensive rebound. The next category, categorize it as effort and then overall intensity. So not taking plays off defensively, pursuing the ball at a high level, not being distracted by any outside noise, not allowing a player to score easily or blow by you, making plays that come your way, always being prepared. for you, man, and to get the ball. Communicate with teammates constantly through a defensive possession. Eyes are focused on the hips of the offensive player. Shot goes up. Everyone on the team goes after the rebound by boxing out and crashing the boards. And then next one, endurance, which is summarized by conditioning. So they can sustain high levels of effort for a long period of time, for however long they are in the game for, able to defend players while fatigued, not necessarily fresh. Not needing a sub after a short duration of defensive possessions, but just possessions in general. And then in top cardiovascular condition, performed defensive possessions for long periods of time. And then this is the tryout evaluation form, just general info, and then try out for these 5 positions: point guard, shooting guard, small forward, power forward, and center. And then this is just kind of a general outline and statement of what's going to happen during the tryouts and after the tryouts and whatnot. And then these were the skills we deemed valuable and to give a rating for, and then our cues. So we have shooting, passing, dribbling, rebound, defending, running, jumping, footwork, attitude, leadership, coachable, and then how good of a teammate you are. And then just some examples of cues we're looking for shooting: stance, balance, release, follow through; for passing, the different types of passes, assists, turnovers, and accuracy. For dribbling, you have your control, rhythm, transitions, change of pace. Rebounding, positioning, defensive rebounding, offensive rebounding, boxing out, timing, effort. Defending, you have your on ball, off ball, how you are defensively with your team, communication, effort, and then foul, steals, and blocks. For running, we're looking for mechanics, whether they're poor or good. Are they fast? Are they slow? Can they get up and down the court quick during fast breaks, as well as timing? And then with your jumping, you have your takeoff, power, how high is the vertical, off approach, standing, single leg. And then footwork, change of direction. Are they cutting well? Are they sliding well? Do they have an effective crossover step? Are they balanced, coordinated, and efficient with their movements? And then attitude, is it good, bad? Are they confident? Are they composed? Do they show a lot of effort? Do they have good work ethic? And then do they have a team first mentality? And then are they mentally tough as well? And then for leadership, you got your communication. Are they leading by example? Can they take accountability? Are they fostering a positive team culture? Are they acknowledging others on the team? And then are they holding others accountable, not just themselves? And then being coachable, does it need improvement? Are they good at being coached? Are they great at being coached? Are they exceptional? Can they learn from critique? And then maybe they're just not coachable. And then teammate, are you a bad one, neutral, good, or great?
And the next part we have is the practice plan for the tryout. So first, we're going to introduce ourselves, tell everyone what the program's about. That then leads into a warm up and stretch, make sure everyone's good to go, everyone's stretched out so that we don't cause any injuries. We're then going to be evaluating dribbling and ball handling. We need to see if players are comfortable with the ball in their hands and won't make turnovers. That will then lead into our shooting portion, where we see how good of shooters the different athletes are and looking at their form as well. And that will then lead on to one-on-ones. We want to see how players are able to play one-on-one, and we want to see no wasted dribbles, so we're only allowing 5. We just want to see people compete. And then we're going to run suicides after that. This is going to really going to test the endurance of our athletes. We need to make sure they're in good condition so that they can sustain a full season. And then in the end, we're going to do a scrimmage. This is really going to help us determine who makes a team, how do you play in a game, and what kind of player are you. And that is it. Thank you.